welcome back to another movie review, and today we are reviewing Paddington in Peru. Yes, Paddington 3, or basically, yeah, Paddington 3, but he's in Peru now. That's the main thing about this movie. First thing I'm going to say about it, the name. I disagree with it being Paddington in Peru. It should have just been Paddington 3. It's basically Paddington 3. It continues on from the second movie. And one of the first things that doesn't carry on, I will say straight away, we get a cast change. Abysmal, to be honest. I did a review recently on watching the first two movies, and I loved them. I loved them for the reason that the cast was the characters, and the characters of the cast, you know, they just embodied the role really well. Like, there's nobody that can play Henry Brown other than Hugh Bonneville. So that was it. He is the guy. I watched the films the last couple of weeks, and yeah, he's that guy now, isn't he? But they do change Mary Brown's character, and that is played by Emily Mortimer, previously Sally Hawkins. Now, a big downgrade in my opinion, because I think Sally Hawkins is amazing. In this one, Emily, dare I say it, was okay, but initially I was like, oh, this stinks a bit, you know, it just does. So yeah, we get some amazing stuff going on. We get Antonio Banderas in this movie, who is playing Hunter Cabot, and we also get Olivia Colman, who is playing Reverend Mother. Now, they are the extra people in the movie. We get Julie Walters, we get Hugh Bonneville, we get Ben Whishaw, of course, playing Paddington, the voice of, and Jim Broadbent is also in there as well. Hayley Atwell kind of played like a cameo performance. I was hoping to see a bit more of her in the film, but we didn't. She just basically played a bit of a cameo, and I'm okay with that. But the movie, as I say, it's all about Paddington going back to Peru. For the last two movies, he's been in London. I was a bit skeptical about this. I was a bit like, oh, you know, taking London out of Paddington is like, you know, taking the French out of Dispatch. That didn't work at all. But however, Paddington wants to go back. He gets a bit of a distress call, and he's called back to Peru because something's gone wrong with Aunt Lucy. She's gone missing. She's gone AWOL. What's going on? And he's obviously emotional. And the Browns need something to pull the family together. The kids are getting older, like teenagers, not really bonding, all of that jazz. So they decide to have a bit of a family holiday, go in with it together. Now, I like this because in the last two films, I didn't really feel like the Browns were like much of a team. In the first movie, yes, but the second one, not so much, because we had the whole prison thing, which was great in itself, but the Browns weren't really part of the main story to a certain extent. But I really liked this in this movie. I liked how the Browns come together. It was all about them, and it was all about them finding El Dorado and ultimately where Paddington came from. We had the backstory, we've had flashbacks to a certain extent in the first two movies, but in this movie we actually found out where he came from when he was swept away down the river and picked up by Aunt Lucy all those years later. This movie though, Paddington 3, well, Paddington in Peru, it does fall into the top tier of Paddington, that's in my opinion. I rated Paddington in Peru a 4.5 star. It is probably the family movie of the year. It is, and it carries on being an amazing piece of movie British film. 100%. And I'm really gutted that I never got to see these before. People in my family, my sister absolutely loves Paddington movies and she goes on about them all the time, and I've never given them a chance, but I'm really glad I have now. It is going to be something I'd watch at least every other year at a minimum. I will definitely try and watch these more often. But Paddington in Peru definitely follows on from it. I actually think Paddington in Peru is better than the first Paddington movie, but it's just not as good as the second one. The second one is one of the best British films ever made, 100%. It's got great characters in that one, great everything. And this one does follow suit, but some of the stuff in Peru does take a little bit away from it. But it continues on, and it's a franchise that is, you know, definitely now we're going to get a Paddington 4, let's be real. So even though Paddington goes to Peru and not in London, it doesn't fall short. It does stay at that top tier movie that we expect from Paddington films, and it does stay up there with what we expect from these films, and that's all we can ask, really, you know. It just gotta maintain, and it just does. This movie, however, had a change of director. The first two Paddington movies are directed by the same person. I think it's Paul King, I think his name is. But this one has a change of director. It's actually directed by Dougal Wilson. So that is a bit of a change. But Paul King is in charge of the story, not direction, but the story. So it is Paddington 3. So I don't know who decided to change the name, but it basically is Paddington 3 because Paul is still writing the trilogy. But honestly, I would go to say Paddington, the 3 movies, is probably one of the best trilogies ever made, and no one's ever really going to say that, but it is. It completes. For me, Paddington in Peru completes the best trilogy ever. I don't know if there's any trilogies other than probably Lord of the Rings that actually do like 5-star, 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 or 4.5, 4-star plus for every single one of the movies. Obviously you've got the Star Wars, maybe Back to the Future, but then people say the third one isn't that great. So there is a case to be had here with Paddington being one of the best trilogies ever made. Let me know your comments to that down below. Thanks so much for watching though, guys. Stay tuned for more videos coming soon. If you like my review of Paddington in Peru, of course, please smash the like button down below and subscribe if you want to see more of videos like this. As I said, go back and watch my other one if you want to know my thoughts on Paddington 1 and Paddington 2. I did that a couple of days ago. Thanks for watching though. Stay tuned for more, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.